Hey everybody! My little goldfish fry of four are still surviving. I am so proud of these little cutie patooties. Some of them are hiding behind pothos leaves. But yes, they're still going strong. I'm very grateful for that. I have been trying to see if they would grow big enough to put in my 20-gallon tank that I have. They have developed a lot of features now that I could not see when they first hatched. When they first hatched, they just looked like hairs with, two little black dots for eyes. And now you can see body structure and a slight beginning of a producing tail fin on each of them. And it's hard to see with my camera because they're so tiny still. And I chalk that up for the slow development from what I've researched due to the quality of food I'm feeding. They're supposed to be fed live foods for optimum growth, such as brine shrimp, but that requires you to order one of those brine shrimp producing mechanisms, and I just don't want to go through all of that. So I looked into some alternative ways to feed your fry, and I've come up with some of my own little recipes, and I will show you that in a minute. But I just changed their water from this water basin over here, which is full of all the debris of the foods I've been trying to feed them. And there's the air stone, which I'm going to transfer over to this. The water is nice and clean and fresh. And mind you, this is not just plain old tap water, You have to add some things to the water to make it safe for the fish. I've added Stress Coat, a product that is basically a dechlorinator, so that it dechlorinates the tap water, and it also has aloe vera in it to help preserve the slime coat that is naturally produced on the fish's skin, or scales rather. And I put like a eye droplet, maybe a half of an eye droplet of a product called Melifix, which is a product with a agent that gets rid of bacterial infections on fish, or is also put in the water to treat the water to prevent bacterial infections or, any types of illnesses in fish. So I put like a drop of that, like a eye drop of that in the water to prevent them from getting sick, because they're not in a filtered tank at the moment. Of course, you could, either make your own sponge filter or, purchase a sponge filter. But my container that I'm using is just a, plastic tub basin, which is about approximately a gallon of water. And they're so tiny. The agitation just from this little air stone, this little snail air stone that I have, I can't even submerge it totally in the water, as you can see, because the agitation is too great and it produces a current that is too strong for my fry. They're so small that, it continues to agitate the water in a way that causes them to get sucked into the air stone. Or sucked towards, rather, the air stone. So as you can see, I have to kind of control how much of the agitation that is produced by that air stone. So I don't want to put any type of filtration, such as sponge filter, in such of a container as this at the time that I'm keeping them in this, because it would be a little bit too much agitation, too much for them. So this is fine, just changing the basin and changing the water. transferring them over to a clean water basin is what I do. And I'll show you some of the foods that I've been creating for them. I've got powdered goldfish flakes, which I ground up. Like, you can use a mortar and pestle, or you can use a coffee grinder, such type of machinery that can grind herbs and spices. You can get it to a powdered consistency so that it would be small enough for particles that they can actually eat. And let me show you. That is Top Fin's Goldfish Flakes brand that I used. It says nutritious daily diet for all goldfish. And from there, I've been trying also pureed with a little bit of warm water, Aquion's goldfish granules or pellets, which is this product right here, which it says it has a balanced nutrition to enhance color also in the goldfish. And you can puree that, in a blender or a mortar and pestle with a little bit of warm water. And also, too, I researched egg yolks boiled and pureed like baby food with a little bit of warm water is very good. And they seem to respond best to this when I put a few droplets of that in the water. And peas, I parboiled some peas and pureed them into this type of really loose consistency also. And one more product pureed with a little warm water is another goldfish pellet food that I have by Wardley. And these are the floating kind, which my tank of mamas and papas over there, they don't particularly care for them, and I don't either because they float. I accidentally bought these one time, so I don't use them for anything. Pureed and used for the fry is what I'm using that for, so that it's not, going to waste. And so far, so good. So this is my update for my fry. They have developed, like I said, a little bit, and my camera doesn't want to focus on my cutie patooties, but there they are. Yeah, that's better. I've got pothos clippings. That also helps control nitrates and nitrites. Prime is also, I put like a droplet of prime in this water as well. That's a product that also controls nitrates and nitrites and ammonia that is produced from the feces and wastes that your fish naturally let out into the water. So this is what I'm doing thus far, and hoping for a little bit more growth out of these babies so that they can finally go into the tank. Yay! I'm so proud, as I said before, that they are actually thriving, and they're swimming and they're alert. And, they're slowly growing. So I will keep everybody posted on my